Hi everyone! It's Fairy Sparkles here again. I hope you've been getting up to lots of crafting at home. I'm back with another activity for you today. Now remember, if you do make anything from the website, be sure to show me what you've made by tagging @LiveEveryPlay and using the hashtag #EveryPlaytime. Now, I don't know if you know, but us fairies love hanging around with mermaids. They are some of our best magical mates. So I thought I would do an underwater themed activity for you today. We're going to be making some hanging fish so you can make your very own at-home aquarium. We're going to be using things that you can find around the house, so be sure to check out the list of materials that you will need. First things first, we're going to start with our toilet roll tube to make the body of our fish. Now, it doesn't really look like a fish at the moment, so we're going to have to cut it to make it look like one. Now, remember to get permission from an adult to use scissors. So before you start cutting, you might want to mark out the shape of your fish. Now, what I'm going to do is squish down the toilet roll tube like this. We're going to make a fish's nose shape here. So that means we basically need to get rid of these corners. Just going to draw a curved line like this. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. So you see, you get this sort of shape. Now at the bottom end, we need to make a tail shape. About 1 centimetre in on your toilet roll tube, you're going to draw a triangle. So you don't want to do it right in the corner because otherwise you'll undo the toilet roll tube and we don't want that. So about 1 centimetre in, you're going to draw a triangle like that. And then you're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So it'll look something like that. So now that we have marked our fish shape, we can start cutting. It's already looking a little more like a fish. So you want to make sure that you're cutting through both sides of the toilet roll tube. So there it is, a perfect little fishy shape. Now we need to paint this or colour it in. And I'm going to use some fairy magic to do it super quickly. So, alakazam! Look, there it is, a perfectly painted little fish. Now I've gone for this lovely green colour, but you can choose to paint your fish in whatever colour you like. Now, fish have lovely, colourful, sparkly scales. So we're going to need to create some for this little guy first. Now, I'm going to be using some cupcake cases, which I usually use when baking fairy cakes, but you could use anything you like. You could use some wrapping paper or some tin foil, some sweetie wrappers. Have a little look around your house and see what you can find, but remember to ask permission before you use something. Whatever you use to make your fish scales is going to need to be cut into smaller pieces. So for my cupcake cases, I'm going to fold them in half and I'm going to cut off this circle section here because we don't really need that. Now I'm just going to roughly cut this into some smaller pieces. Again, remember to get permission from an adult when you're using scissors. And there you can see that makes some really quick and easy to use fish scales for our little fish. So the next thing we need to do is to glue the scales onto the fish. So I'm going to get some glue. I'm going to do this in rows, starting from the bottom and moving my way up towards the head. And that's so I can create a lovely layered effect for the scales. So I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is put a little row of glue just along the bottom here. And then I'm going to take my scales and I'm just going to stick down the top half. So no glue on the bottom because I want this bottom bit to stick out. So now that I've done that, I'm going to put another stripe of glue just above where the first stripe was. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm just sticking on the top of my fish scales. So they look like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. And remember, you don't have to be too neat with the glue because the PVA glue dries clear. So now that I've done one side of my fish, I'm going to repeat this again for the other side. So now I have covered both sides of my fish in scales. Don't they look cool? Now we've lost a little bit of the shape here. So all we're going to do is trim some of our scales so we get that tail shape back. So So we're just going to use our scissors. Again, get an adult to help you if you need to. So now we've got our little fishy shape back. So the next thing our little fishy friend needs is some eyes. Now you might have some googly eyes that you can use at home, but if like me, you don't have that, you can improvise with something else. So I have got these little stickers and I thought I might be able to make these into an eye. So I'm going to take one and I'm going to stick it in about the right place. And then I'm going to give it a little pupil using a black pen. And now I need to do the same on the other side. There we go. Now, if you don't have any little stickers like this, that's okay. You could use a little bit of white paper and draw a little black dot on it and you'll have your very own fish eye there. So we've just got one last little thing to do, and that's to put some string on our little fish so that we can hang it up. So I'm going to cut off a piece of string. It's up to you how long you'd like to make it. And then I'm simply going to sellotape it inside the body of my fish. So this bit's a little bit fiddly, so you might need to get an adult to help you. There we go. And now that means I can hang my little fishy up here. I think I'm going to call him Frank. Frank the fish. Maybe you can give your fish a name as well. And maybe you can make lots of fish so that you can make your very own at-home aquarium. Right, me and Frank, we're going to go and see the mermaids. See you later.